Hello, my name is Marco and I would like to show you a cheap and easy way to build your own H0 locomotive test stand. I start the video by building a test stand, then I explain the details of the design and go into the choice of parts and the complications of building. For the test stand, I need terminal blocks, 24 small bearings, a brass rod, and 6 3D printed bearing holders. You will find a link to the 3D model in the description. First, I remove the metal tubes from the insulation block. Now I use the screws to attach the metal tubes and bearings to a bearing holder. Now I repeat the process for the remaining bearing holders. Finally, I skewer the bearings holders on a brass rod. Sometimes filling of the longer screws is necessary. Each of the rods is then connected to the one railway track. The whole procedure takes about 20 minutes, and the total cost of the material is about €15 plus the cost of the 3D printing, which is about €2 in terms of filament. I can freely move the bearing holders along the brass rod to fit the axles of the locomotive. Next, I position the locomotive on the test stand and start running. The design of the test stand is quite simple. The bearings are fixed by the holder at a distance of 16.5 millimeters. The bulge on the holder ensures that only the inner ring of the bearing is in contact. The outer ring is free to rotate and supports the wheel of the locomotive. The head of the terminal block screw is generally very small, so that it does not come in contact with either the outer ring or the wheel. I choose the thin bearings without side shields, so the screws are long enough. There are many different sizes of terminal blocks. With small terminal blocks, there are two possible problems. First, the screws might be too short to hold everything together. Second, the hole spacing is small and small bearings have to be used, making the clearance between the screw and the wheel too small. Remember that the flange depth can be up to 1 millimeter. There are also two problems with large terminal blocks. Because the hole spacing is too large, the locomotive wheel sinks too deep and the minimum distance between two locomotive axles is very large. In my opinion, terminal blocks with 10 mm hole spacing are optimal. The best ones I could find are the Italian BM9202, but the Czech EMOS 10 square millimeters are also fine. I combine them with MR84 bearings, which are 2 mm thick, shieldless bearings with 4 mm inner ring diameter and 8 mm outer ring diameter. The only problem is that the screw diameter is only 3.5 millimeters. Normally this is not a problem, but if you have concerns, you can take 0.2 mm thick copper sheet, make small rings, and put them in between. Finally, I used 1 meter long 4 mm thick brass rod that I cut in half. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts on this video in the comments below, and if you found this video interesting, please click the like button and share it. See you in the next video.